What's up, Demon Pack? Welcome to another video, and as you guys can see, this is the second part of the video that I posted last week about the cartoons. And as you guys can see on the picture, you could say it says game characters I crush on. So this is just this is all just to get I combined them all together. I didn't split them up because it was just a little bit easier, and most of the game characters are, still viable. I will mention if a game character hasn't had the same feeling anymore as I used to, because there are a couple where that's relevant, and there are also a couple of interesting ones. There's definitely a really interesting one. We'll come to that one whenever it appeared. I don't remember which one it will be, but I think I know when it appears. But how about we start... Excuse me. How about we start with the first character, which is one that I added kind of last minute, because I did feel like I am sort of crushing on her, because I remember playing through the story, and she was like a companion that was kind of... She wasn't part of the missions particularly, but she was part of the stories, and when you kind of got the cutscenes where your character talked and stuff like that. Well, your character didn't really talk, but you really had a nice connection with her, and that's kind of what I honestly, one of the characters that I really bonded with her compared to the other characters in that game, because there are quite a lot of them that are on it just pure because of the way they look, right? But this one is more of yes, she looks pretty, but she's also I really like the way you had conversations with her and stuff like that, which is a character from Genshin Impact, which is Dea. There we go. I really liked her story, when she appeared in the story, and you had quite a lot of interactions with her over the questing and stuff like that, and I really enjoyed that. I really liked her character, and that probably made me very interested in her. So yeah, that's Dea. She's the first one on the list. I didn't do it particularly in a certain order or anything, although the one that I put it on the bottom specifically is the one that I'm crushing over the most. So just out of that, but other than the ones more towards the bottom, are kind of in order, but not really that much. But just so you guys are aware. And again, I didn't mention that last time. This is again my list, my opinion, and whatever. I'm also not telling that these are good characters or anything competitively. That's not what this is about. This is just some fun about me talking about crushing on freaking game characters, which is, you probably don't even care, but it's just some shits and giggles, So let's move on to the next character, which is wait. Oh my god, I am so dumb. Okay, well, here we go with an oopsie. So when I was making this bit, I saw a C between the K and the A, and I was like, what the hell? That doesn't make sense. I must have made a typo. So I removed that C, but it's the C from cat. I'm so dumb. Of course the C is supposed to be there because it's the C from cat. And now I thought I made a typo, removed the C, ended up being actually correct. Removed the C to make it into a typo. I'm so dumb. But anyway, like I mentioned last time, Black Cat, a returning character from out of the cartoon series. I mean, I've talked about her before in that video, so I'm not gonna talk too much about her, but I mean, she's just fucking stunning and agey, such a gorgeous character, and yeah, it's very hard to not look at her and ignore freaking Peter in the picture. picture, but you know, I'll just move on as I've talked to her about her in the last video. So if you want to hear my opinion and you missed last video, go and check it out. Make sure to go and take a look at that one as well. Next up, we have Hot Mama from Genshin Impact, Raiden Shogun, or A, right? I mean, it's really hard to say no to her, right? I mean, her story was probably my favorite part from Genshin that I've played so far. So it's a bit difficult to say that I don't have a crush on her. And I don't think, like, a lot of people would, like, how do you say it? Take it for granted, I guess? It makes sense, right? Just like, she is very beloved under the community, as far as I know. And we'll come to the other person a little bit later who has the same kind of impact, but yeah, I'd probably prefer A little bit more than the other person. Just because of her, besides her, you know, strive for eternity and stuff like that, the fact that she hasn't been in the current day of age, it sounds like such a cool thing. Like, imagine if like a beautiful girl would come out of the past and, you know, she would meet you first, right? And you would have to teach her everything that has been going on in the past years or millennia, right? Wouldn't that be such a cool thing? Like, having to teach her what a PC is, what a phone is, what a car is, like all of the things that we have decided so far. I think that would be really cool, and I like that that she's a bit lost. So that quest where you went with her through her actual city, it was such a cool quest, and I love that so much. I like showing her what a picture is. That was so cool. Like, I loved that, and it made her really, I guess it made her look vulnerable, right? And I guess that's what really spiked my interest even more. But yeah, like, one of the coolest cutscenes in Genshin is like literally where you block her attack on Toma. Like, oh, that's so sick. And her reaction to, like, what the hell, you don't have a freaking vision? That was so cool. So yeah, that's probably why she's on this list. Let's move to the next one, which is Elise. For the Assassin's Creed fans out here, I forgot about a certain character. I just realized. So I'll talk about her, and then I'll cut to the character that I missed out on in a moment. But first, let's talk about Elise. So Elise is the French girl from Assassin's Creed Unity, which has like the best fucking trailer from Assassin's Creed. Like one specific scene in that trailer is so cool. Like, but yeah, so this girl is the girlfriend from Arnaud, and she works for the Templars, right? But I mean, she's freaking hot, isn't she? Like, I'm not really too fond of like French people, like in general. Like, I don't have an issue, like whatever, but my personal experience with that country, that language, that those people has not been good. So let that be for what it is. But yeah, there are 2 French characters on here, so well, Elise is on this list, and I'll see you back when I've added the other character that I very much need on this list, which is also an Assassin's Creed character, but you'll see it right after this. So here we go. There is the girl that I forgot about, Sophia Sator from Assassin's Creed Revelations. The reason why I forgot about her is because I still haven't completed this game, and yeah. Unfortunately, the picture isn't that great. I mean, the graphics from the game isn't that amazing anyway, but like, yeah, I liked her from whenever Ezio met her. Like, it was such a cool interaction. Like, such a playful freaking meeting between those two. So yeah, I like her a lot. So, but nothing too crazy. It's more like a little crush, I guess you could say. It's not like I'm how do you say it? Like, we have like a sentence in Dutch, like, where we if I literally translate it, I would say like was it like over the top in love or something? Something along those lines. But that's definitely not the case. Just a little crush, you know. She's a pretty woman anyway, so. Moving on to the next one that would have appeared if I didn't remember her. That is a League of Legends character in Caitlyn. I mean, it's mainly because of her hair, to be honest. It's like was like a blue purplish hair, and it's long enough, so that's mainly it. So it's similar to the last, like, to like Sophia, where it's like it's just a little crush because she's gorgeous looking, but nothing too crazy. Up next, we have a fan favorite, Lara Croft. She will never, ever, ever go away, will she? Every time she gets hotter and hotter with the games. And I don't think this one is too bad, and people would get mad at me for having a crush on Lara Croft, because don't lie to yourself, you do too. It doesn't matter. Even if you're a girl, you have a crush on her. Like, that's just a thing. It's just a rule in gaming. If you play Tomb Raider, or you know who Lara Croft is, you have to have a crush on her. Don't deny it, because I know you're lying. Yeah, Kevin, you too. Don't need to talk too much about her, because, I mean, everyone knows her anyway, so move on to the next one, which is Evelynn, another character from League of Legends. But this one is more specifically because of KDA, I guess. But for Evelynn, as far from the skins that I know, and obviously this one, I'd probably say all of them from the ones that I know. But yeah, definitely the KDA ones. So, not much else to say. We get another Assassin's Creed character, and this is more of a recent one. And it's because she's a redhead, and it's Anboni, sorry, from Black Flag. It's funny because as I mentioned in my tier list about Assassin's Creed, it's because I never really liked Black Flag. Now I have been playing through it. It's been ages, don't get me wrong, but I have come to the point where was it like Anboni, and you had the other dude / girl that passed away at the time, and then you and her are sitting against a palm tree talking. That's kind of the last scene that I remember doing, but I should technically continue at some point whenever I find like the interest in continuing. But yeah, I definitely like her a lot because she's a redhead. That's probably the reason. So yeah, she's more of a recent one that I've been crushing on. So yeah, but I mean, it's also really hard to get like a huge crush on them because graphics and stuff like that. But yeah, still not terrible. Back to Genshin with Jean. Yeah, she's the first one that you. Well, I think after. So you meet when you come into Genshin, you obviously meet you meet you and your. At first, you meet you and your sister, where you can choose out of, and then the boss you fight, or well, see in a cinematic that you fight, and then you meet Paimon. Then you meet the Dragon and Venti, or well, not really meet, but you see them. then you actually meet Amber. Then you have the dude. I forgot what his name is. It's something with a K, I think. It's the ice guy with like the pirate background, whatever the hell. And then you meet her, and she's like the first one where I was like, God damn, she can do things to me that I wouldn't want to apply, that I wouldn't want to say to the world, if that makes sense, right? So yeah, I instantly got like a crush on her the first time I've seen her, and I instantly was like, yeah, I want her on my team. Not the case anymore, because other characters, such as Raid Shogun, and another character we will definitely see later on. But yeah, that's Jean. Next, we have Nikki. So you remember how I said, like, very much in the beginning of the video, where I said that I was gonna say that I had a crush on them, but not anymore? Here we are. Nikki is one of them. This was in the time where I was really into racing games, right? Like, I had a period where racing games were my life, basically, right? Need for Speed, Burnout, Gran Turismo, like, I was playing them like crazy. I was really good at them, to be honest. That has definitely died over time. Since I've like grinded a lot of World of Warcraft then. But yeah, Nikki was definitely one that I cannot get out of, that I have to unfortunately say yes, I had a crush on her. Unfortunately, I never was able to beat freaking this douchebag in the background at his canyon race, because I always screwed up. I don't know what happened, like, I just always seemed to screw up. Even though my car was 10 times better than his Audi R8, I just always screwed up in the canyon race. Like, the actual race, easy, freaking peasy. But the canyon race, god damn. If I was an aggressive person, there would have been a lot of controls that died, but good thing I wasn't at the time. So yeah, Nikki is one that I crushed on, but that one is in the past. Next, Poison Ivy, another one that I had in the cartoon video, and this picture specifically is from Injustice 2. So yeah, she looks a lot better here, but if I were to really cheat, I could use her Fortnite skin, but I felt like that was cheating, because if I used the Fortnite skins, there would be a lot of characters that wouldn't be fair. Like, for example, Ariana Grande, for example, but she's a real life person, so that's kind of like, yes, she's in Fortnite, but that doesn't mean she's an in-game character, right? So that's why I kind of ignored all the Fortnite stuff. Otherwise there would be maybe 100 pages of this. So let's do that. Let's not do that, right? But yeah, Poison Ivy, not much that I need to say about it. I definitely would say the Fortnite skin is better looking, but this one is definitely not bad either. So next up, my beloved Black Fang from Lost Ark. Oh my lord. You remember how I said, like, if I had the power to get characters out of like games or cartoons, and that I would choose Akano for sure? Yeah, Black Fang is very close to that. Like, if I could only bring it out of games, Black Fang would probably be one of the characters that I would very, very hard to consider to bring out of the game. So, yeah, can you tell I like her? I think so, right? Although, I'd probably, if it was game characters, it would be so much harder to choose, because there are a lot of them that I very much like. But, yeah, let's move on to the next one, which is Elise. Yeah, I don't know what I have with her, but I really like her for some reason, even though that she's a spider, and like I'm not scared of spiders specifically, although my best friend might tell you otherwise, because I remember playing a Fortnite like spider map or something, and no thank you. But then again, that was because they were massive, right? It's like a different. If like a massive spider was standing in front of you, surely you would be scared, right? Like, let's be honest. But it's more like I wouldn't say it's not particularly being scared, because like a small spider, I'm like whatever, right? But I think it's more like when they're really disgusting, I'm just like, ew, right? It's like, what the fuck? Please just leave me alone, right? But yeah, I mean, if Elise in this form would stand in front of you and give you the offer to, you know, do the thing, you would do it, right? Let's be honest, right? Or if she would, you know, do it to you, right? Surely you wouldn't mind that much as a guy, right? At least. So, yeah, I do like her. And that's also the reason why at a point when I wanted to play League with my best friend, that's the main reason why I wanted to one-trick her. Also because I looked up the way she played and it was pretty interesting, but yeah, that never really got to that point. So up next we have Christy. Christy, an old but gold one. So Christy might be the first game character that I crushed on. I'd probably still say I kind of crushed on her, but not as much as I did back then. Like, I mean, I don't know what age I was, but I mean, if you look at the way she's dressed in here, especially the top part, if you're like 10 years old when playing Tekken 7, I'm not sure if I was, but yeah, you could say I might have been a bit obsessed by the way she dressed. But yeah, like she was one of my favorite characters in Tekken, and I think it's pretty obvious why. But yeah, Christy, definitely one of them. Still slight crushing over her, but probably because I don't really play Tekken anymore, it's probably the reason why I'm not really that crazy about her anymore. Now, I think the next page is page is the one that is a little bit of an interesting one. Because I'm pretty sure it's Laura from The Evil Within. Or, I think specifically The Evil Within 2, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know what I have with her. As you can see, the right picture is what she is in the game, right? And then the left is what she used to be, right? I have a weird fantasy. Yeah, this one definitely exposes me a lot, because I never played The Evil Within. I own Evil Within 1, but I think this one is specifically from The Evil Within 2. But I remember Markiplier playing both of them, right? Because I watched him a lot. And when she came in, I mean, yes, I was afraid. I was a bit scared, but I was also just like, she looks really, you know, hot, right? If you just ignore the rest of it, right? But yeah, I've exposed myself enough. I'm just gonna move on and just ignore it. So next up is Lysandra, which I only just noticed that it says Sandra, which is feeling weird now because I know somebody called Sandra, but I'm obviously talking about the League of Legends character Lysandra. And I don't know why. It probably has to do with a helmet, because it kind of covers up her eyes. And I have such a I have like this thing where like certain parts of their face is covered up. I don't know. It's hard to explain, because you also have like the kind of like the mask thing. I don't know what it would be called, and I don't remember a character that has that. Unless maybe there is a character in Baldur's Gate that has that. One of the, I think the nurses have that in the dark zone thing. I don't want to bother with looking it up, but in Baldur's Gate, in the second zone, there's like this pharmacy nursery thing, and then you have the nurses there, and I think maybe one of the nurses has like a mask in front of their mouth, and I think that's kind of what it would excite me in an interesting way. But and she kind of gives a similar effect from that. So, well, let's move on. Kaisa. And then, excuse me, specifically this skin, which is why I took it as the background. Specifically this skin, because it reminds me of a certain person. And, I mean, even if it didn't, it's still, she looks insanely stunning, so, yeah. Also, I guess, kind of, I mean, to be honest, now looking at it, give it pink hair, and she would kind of look like the Ariana Grande skin from Fortnite, now I'm thinking about it. Has the same kind of ponytail, so I guess I can see the appeal why, but, yeah. Ari, I mean, can we leave her out? Not really. She has to be in here, right? She had to be in here. I don't think I need to say a lot more. I mean, the thing is, KDA also reminds me of another K-pop group that I really like, which probably is why they have a little bit more interesting parts about them, because I always like kind of link a certain character to that character, to the real life person, even though that they're not voiced by those people. It's funny, but yeah. Morgana probably was the first lead character that I was most interested in. And it's probably because she kind of looks like a succubus. And I got a thing for succubuses. So, moving on. Roxanne! So, story matters. The Crew 1 came out, and I played it. Crazy fun. And I remember when we meet Roxanne for the first time. Seeing her back then, I was legit in love with this character, like legit, right? And it's probably why I like the name Roxanne a lot, and why I'll probably keep it in mind for future children or something. But yeah, it definitely lessened over time, and I do want to play the Crew 1 again, but I don't want to buy it again, so just like, I mean, can't be asked. But yeah, that's basically the story behind Roxanne, so that's why she's on this list. Next, one of my fantasy once again, Cassiopeia, which obviously is a sort of a Gorgon, I guess you could say. What is Temlin? Whatever that is called. Yeah. I mean, just like, if you would meet her, or the way she's standing, of course, you would think she'd probably devour you. But imagine if she's the sweetest person in the world. Like, come on. Surely you would look past her snake part. Or you would even start to like that part. I mean, I'm not gonna talk too much about it. I don't really care about what you guys think, but like, yeah. Me like it too much. Ah, Diva. I mean, you can't really blame that one, yeah, you know. So, don't think I need to talk too much about it, because, yeah, she was probably the biggest crush I ever had as a game character until a certain somebody appeared, or until a certain game released and I watched a playthrough from Markimu or Jack, one of the two, and yeah, we'll see her later. But yeah, Diva, one of the hottest characters I know, and I'm pretty sure that is very, very obvious. Next, Ysera, a WoW character. We'll get a few more, so don't worry about that. But yeah, Ysera has moved up places because I remember her only, like, this was her only, like, in-game before Dragonflight. Well, before Legion. But I don't think in Legion it was only her dragon form, right? So we didn't see her like visage form. The only time when you see her visage form was in the Dragon Soul raid. And at that point, I was more interested in another girl that you could see only in there, but they obviously updated both of them over the 2 last expansions. And yeah, I got more interested in Ysera nowadays. So yeah, built up a little bit of a crush on Ysera and her daughter, Mirifra, but we'll leave that one out of it for now. Let's move to Shyvana. Again, that little bit of fantasy to it, you know, like with Cassiopeia and Morgana, you know. Like, if you think about it, if you would, okay, this might sound weird, but if you take off her armor, right, in this form, surely the only thing that stays there is, you know, her arms and legs and, you know, the, you know, needed stuff, just with her skin tone being different, and they're not scars, but you know what I'm talking about. You know, you have like the gaps or like things on her skin. Like I assume the only thing on her helm would be that she might have actual horns, potentially. But aside from that, she looks more normal than Cassiopeia, right? Which doesn't really matter because, you know, like I mentioned, like either earlier in the video or in the previous video, is I like myself some unique ladies, so there you go. Next up, we have Starfire, also from Injustice, because when I saw her in Injustice, I fell for her. Like, actually. Not literally, but, you know, figuratively. Yeah. And that's probably the only reason why I liked Starfire. And why I watched some DC shows. It's because of this specific character. Because I wanted to see Starfire in action. And yeah, not much more to say about that. So moving on. We have Seraphine. More of a recent one, I guess. It again is probably because of KDA. Because that one song, I think it's called All Out, where she appeared and she had blue hair. And I looked through her skins, and most skins are very beautiful. So yeah, just a small crush. Nothing crazy. We have Syndra, kind of similar to Lysandra, but I'd probably say Syndra is a bit better because I guess there's a little bit more visual to inspect. So yeah, just move on. Sylvanas! My good old Sylvanas. One of my first crushes. And a girl that I was completely addicted to. I didn't even care that she was technically dead, right? Because I honestly loved the fact that her skin was this unique color, right? I've such a weak spot for unique colors, ain't it? Unique hair colors, unique skin tones. Like, what the hell? Yeah, unique eyes. Like, honestly, everything that is unique just makes me excited. So yeah, Sylvanas, I think is a very straightforward one if you're a WoW player. So there it is, Genshin Impact. The other girl that I was talking about when I mentioned that I hated Shogun, it's Yamiko. Now, I am not sure if it's Miko or if it's Miku or whatever. I always mix them up. But you can see who it is. And people that know who she is, knows who she is. Sneaky, bloody, teasing vixen that she is. Freaking naughty girl she is. Because she's... Again, remember what I said. Unique hair color. Pink hair color. It just bloody excites me. And she actually cares about her, about A, so that was really cool too. Hence why, and you do, I think you meet her before you meet the Raiden Shogun, if I'm correct. So, yeah, very, very incredible character. Next, we have Misfortune, who I think is a better looking character than Ashe from Overwatch. Hence why I put her in here instead of Ashe. So, not much to say about her, except, I mean, she's this freaking hot pirate girl. Can't really go bad with that. Zyra, again, a little bit of that fantasy again, that I think, like, she's kind of like the Poison Ivy, now that I'm thinking about it. She kind of is Poison Ivy in League. Never really thought about that, but that's actually kind of thorough. I guess that kind of makes sense why I like her that this much, because of Poison Ivy. Well, that just makes my explaining much easier to do, right? Alright, let's continue. We have Belshazzar, the second character from Lost Ark. I mean, she just looks like a succubus. Or like a female demoness. Not a crazy amount to say. She looks like a female demon. Looking at this picture, she looks like she's blind in her eyes, which is interesting. Unique skin tone. I mean, it checks the boxes. So, not much else to say. I do remember a girl from Lost Ark now that I might have to add, but I have to look at it for a moment. So I'll be right back, and I'll let you know if she's added or not. Alright guys, I have returned and I've added her, because the next one is from Lost Ark and is Miru. Kitsune Miru. I remember seeing her in Lost Ark when I played. And yeah, she was very pretty. So yeah, the reason why I forgot about her is because I haven't played Lost Ark in like forever, so that's kind of why I forgot about her. But I remembered like a beautiful lady in like an arena kind of quest part. So I just looked up, was it Lost Ark girl arena girl, and that's how I found her. So yeah, that's she definitely is one of my crushes that I got from Brawl Stars. So yeah, reminds me a lot of Arya as well. But next up is Lilith. No, not the Diablo one. It's the Marvel Sundown one. Yeah, I mean, do I have to say anything more? She just looks like a freaking hot-ass demon. That is why. So, and I think you see her, her normal, like the way she normally looks as well. But I'd take this version over that normal version any day. So, yeah. The only thing I wish is that she wouldn't destroy the world. That would be awesome. But aside from that, yeah, give me her. Moving on, we have Xayah, another character from League that is just insanely hot. So, yeah. Say hello to the crushing parts. And being bloody jealous of the dude that she's that she's dating, right? Because she's a couple with the one of the guys in League that I forgot his name of because he's stupidly irrelevant. But yeah. Also, she was a very fun character to play when I tried playing League for like one of the couple times that I tried. So next we have Jennifer, a recent one, because I bought her on Fortnite, and but I do know that there is the Witcher game, so I might play that game just because of her. So I had to add her in this because she is gorgeous, and I don't think she's a baddie or anything, or I don't think she's like a bad characteristic wise. I think she's fine as far as I know, but yeah, she has to be on this list for sure. Baldur's Gate, say hello, it is Orin. Yes, and I took this picture specifically. Let me change my what's it called, my webcam to the other side while we can, and yeah, I mean, this picture, I saw it, I just had to use it because she looks so lonely. It just makes you want to freaking hug her and just, you know, tell her everything is alright and stuff like that. Everything will be okay, you know? Yeah, she probably is my favorite character of Baldur's Gate. Like, Marifra, kinda, but she's kinda like a douche in a way. I mean, Orin is too, but like, you know, Orin is Orin, you know. I think I added this mod where you could have one of your characters become Orin because you wear her armor, and I just always had it on one of my characters so that I would have Orin in my party. Yeah, that was fun. But yeah, Orin definitely in this list too. Moving on, another good one, Evie Fry. Oh my lord. When I played Syndicate, I literally, as long as I could, I always used Evie Fry for every single thing. Unless I was forced to play as Jacob, I only used Evie. And I enjoyed it a lot. Because she's just bloody gorgeous, is she? Probably the prettiest in the Assassin's Creed franchise up until now, of course. Right, with maybe debating would be the girl from earlier, the French girl, right, Elise. So yeah. Next up, we have another WoW character, Blood Queen Lanatel. I mean, She bloody has demonic wings. She's a vampire. I got a little bit of a thing for vampires, so yeah. Do I need to say more? Not really. I do have one of my characters that is called Lanatel because of this, but yeah. This is also more of a recent thing. So yeah, moving on to the next one. It is Baidu, or Baidu, the captain that you meet before going to Inazuma. I really liked her. She looked really stunning, and the little like tournament thing that you had to do was really cool too, for her part. So she's such a fun character too. Like, she is such a cool character. Even though that she probably, you know, drink because she's a pirate and stuff like that, and I'm not into alcohol at all. So yeah, that'd be kind of fun, but not much else to say too crazy about. But definitely crushing on her too. Next, we have Claire Redfield. Another classic one, right? Kind of like Lara Croft. Claire is one of those characters where a lot of people crush on. Me included. But I don't know what this... Isn't Claire a little bit more of a redhead than on this picture? It doesn't really matter, but like... At least that's what I thought. Or is it just me playing dumb because she's called a Redfield? I don't know. She's definitely like gone a bit downhill over the years, but still up there. Still up there. Next up is Widowmaker. And like I said, similar to Sylvanas, she has this super unique skin tone that just makes me super excited. Am I just seeing things, or is this a... This better not be an 18 plus one, right? This is an 18 plus picture, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know if this is an 18 plus picture. I mean, it isn't showing anything except for a certain part that isn't that super vibrant unless you know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna block it anyway, but I think that's... Okay, I'm just gonna say it, but I think her front heels are sticking out. And I completely didn't see that when I saved the picture. Not that I was looking for that kind of picture anyway. I was just, you know, I saw this picture and it was high quality and it was somewhat in a sexy pose, you know, but not too crazy. But it looks like her boobs are sticking out. I'm just gonna say it, boobs are sticking out. So, yeah. If you see the black box, you know, have fun looking at the black box instead. But yeah, Widowmaker, I mean, like I said with Elise, you know, this is the second French girl, and she's the only one. And she also has this little bit of that troubled story that I enjoy, you know. But yeah, we'll move quickly on. Ah, look at that! Another fantasy kind of creature, which is Mother Sharas, I think it's called, and it's the boss in what's the raid called? I forgot. It's the last boss before you go to Illidan. No, that's a lie, because you have like the council after it. But yeah, I don't know why she like this species. They're called Shivara. They just really excite me. Also, they have 6 hands, you know? You know? If they get tired, they can always take another hand. But yeah. I don't know, just really... I really like this race. I kind of hope they get playable at some point. That would be so cool, especially for like Fury Warrior and like Rogues. Like, imagine holding four swords. How cool would that be? But, you know, let's move on. I'm already getting on like a longer type of video, so... Next up, we have Scarlet Witch, also from Marvel Sons. And I like both versions. I like her normal version, where she's restored. Probably a little bit more specifically on this picture. But I do also like her, you know, demon-ish kind of version, right? So, but yeah, I've always loved Scarlet Witch. Ever since... What is it? Ever since Endgame, I think. So, yeah. Not much else to say about them. Alexstrasza! Remember when I talked about Ysera? Yeah, this is the girl that caught my attention all the time instead. Alexstrasza. And at the beginning when Dragonflight came out, they updated her form. Her visage form. And I was very upset. Because they were taking away her, you know, sexiness, I guess you'd say. But I mean, you know, it's not like I hate on the new visage form that she has. I mean, it still looks great. You know, I guess it's more professional, you could say. But it doesn't really, like, show off her beauty, if that makes sense. But yeah, so Alexstrasza, probably the second crush that I had after Sylvanas, so like around the similar time, so. Then we have Valera Sanguinar. And yeah, I started liking her first when I read the strip manga kind of book from Varian, where he was like a gladiator together with Valera and Brawl, right? In Dire Maul. That's kind of where I got like, yeah, I got kind of interested in her, and you know, I knew her, and I know she went along to Stormwind and stuff like that, and kind of served the Alliance. So that was interesting, and I did like her at that point, but not like anything crazy until they updated her in-game character. And the first time we see her is in that cutscene where they're in a Sao Fang talks to Anduin in the tower, and when they go outside, Valera is like leaning against the tower entrance and then walks amongst them. Oh my lord, she got like the beauty treatment that everyone wants, because goddamn, she's bloody hot. And any WoW person that saw that video probably had their mouth like, you know that movie The Mask, right? And you have like that scene where his mouth would go all the way down. Yeah, that's what everyone got when seeing that new freaking model for her. Yeah, that was insane. Moving on, we have Valeria, my favorite of the Windrunners nowadays. And yeah, I also really like her name, which kind of like Roxanne, I'm keeping in mind because I like it as it's unique and it sounds nice. So yeah, I remember oh my god, I'm remembering 2 characters that I forgot again. I need to add them. Because I know that I crushed on them, no matter what. Like, they're bigger crushes than all of the lead characters and stuff like that, so I guess I'll be adding them. I'll see you back when I've got them. Ta-da! Alright guys, I have finally added both of those characters to the list. Let's move on to them. Hopefully I don't remember anyone else because I'd be very upset. But yeah, I forgot about the fact that I played Skyrim. And Skyrim obviously brings us to the next two characters. Serana, the vampire girl. Whenever I met her, or like I remember playing through the game and I was already, you know, romancing one of the characters. We'll come to her in the next page. And then I went through the DLC of her and I instantly knew I've made a mistake. I wanted her, like, badly. And then I looked it up and you could, if I remember, you couldn't romance her in like the normal game unless you got like a mod for it. And that's the point where I made a mistake and started modding Skyrim. And then I fucked up because I downloaded so many mods without knowledge and I broke the game so many times that I gave up and never played it again. So, yeah. Well, that's the story of her. But yeah, I love her more than the other girl, which is Ayla the Huntress, which is the girl that I went for the first time when I went through Skyrim, and she is a fun character, right? It was not a bad choice, but just saying Serana, just yes, yes please. So yeah, it is what it is. I'm glad that I still remember them right on time. Moving on to the next one is Lady Vash. Yes, I know. You guys will be looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I don't know why she just so bloody hot to me. Like, take away her claws or something, right? That's not a thing. And let her hair, like her snakes, be just hair, right? It just looks like snake, but it's just hair. Then, you know, wouldn't mind having her as my life partner, but yeah. And this is a very good picture. This is a good picture, but yeah, and even her. Because this is her pre-form, I think. Because she obviously, I think this is before she got killed by the player, and then obviously you re-meet her in Shadowlands in the Necrolords area in Madraxxus, and even that form is very nice. But let's move on with Rosaria, another character from Genshin. And we'll see another one, but this is my second favorite Genshin character, if not my favorite. It is very close with the other girl that you'll see. Maybe, probably next. But yeah, Rosaria, when I saw her in the church, I was like, fuck my life, bro. This game is gonna make me have issues. But yeah, I mean, even this picture is very interesting. But yeah, frick's sake. We'll just move on to Senhei. That's the girl. Senhei and Rosaria are the ones really, really tight to that favorite spot of Genshin Impact girls. And I think Senhei edges it just about because of her character, right? We had like more interaction with her than with Rosaria. Rosaria, we had like maybe like, well, you personally did, like your character didn't really have any interaction with it, but you see her talk to another person, if I'm correct. Whereas with Senhei, you really had like a little bit of a journey together, right? So you kind of know more about her, and she's also like really like shy, right? Or at least that's the way she is around you. Like she's shy, and that just, oh my god, that's so good. So yeah, can't really do much about that except for crush the hell over her. So yeah, and that's the second one, because I think we're on the last one finally, which is basically the Dimitrescu girls, but specifically Cassandra. Because if I'm correct, you have Cassandra, you have Bella, and then you have another one that I forgot the name of. But I know Bella is the blonde girl in the middle. And if I'm correct, Cassandra is the one on the left. Ah, they have... I never noticed that. They have gems on their neck. Is that how you could easily tell them apart? Oh, frick, I need to look that up. Hold up. I'll be right back and look that up for a moment. Alright, so I've checked it, and it is indeed. And I've also fit... so the third girl that I forgot the name of is Daniela. So we have Cassandra, who is the one with the yellow colored gem in the neck. Then Bella obviously is the girl in blonde, and then Daniela is the one on the right, as far as I know. But yeah, I mean, all three of them I'm very crushing over, but if I had to choose one, or like order them, Bella would be the least interesting one, then Daniela, and then Cassandra is the one that I really want. So yeah, like if I were to play Resident Evil Village, which I have the game, it would just be because of them. And it probably, my attraction towards them makes it even, is even bigger because of the fact that everyone is like drooling over Lady Dimitrescu, right? Over the big lady. And I'm like, no, she's way too tall. And her figures are way too big. So, yeah. That's the last one of this list, and god damn it, I'm glad that this is over with. Just outing myself is not great. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed me suffering through this, but it was also a bit of fun. So hopefully you guys all enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button as well as to subscribe to this channel to obviously see more of this stuff potentially, or just my playthroughs. Hopefully you all have a wonderful day or evening, and as always, see you guys on the other side.